Here's a fact about every single legend. Bangalore's original heirloom before her knife was actually meant to be a tonfa, which is a type of baton. She was potentially going to have two, and it was going to be another dual heirloom, but unfortunately this was scrapped, and eventually her pilot knife became her actual heirloom back in Season 8. For Fuse, he has many skins, and every single skin he has actually changes the appearance of his ultimate on his back drastically. For example, his new Battle Pass skin actually puts holograms on his ultimate, but unfortunately with every single skin, every time you pull out his ultimate, it never changes the design, which is one of the biggest missed opportunities from Respawn, having skins change the appearance of abilities. Ash's fact may spark a memory you've not thought of for years, because she used to have a voice line where she moaned at the start.
Oh, she's going to gloat about...
And because the Apex community can't behave itself, people found out if you spammed this voice line, Ash sounded like she was moaning. And people spammed the voice line that much that Respawn literally had to nerf the voice line to remove the moaning section from it. The developers really do not trust us. Maggie's fact is that she is one of the only legends with a tongue model. Her tongue is used in this pose, and because of that there is a tongue always present in her model, which is pretty freaky, and this makes her the only other legend next to Gibraltar that I'm currently aware of that shows her tongue and has a tongue model in her head model. Maggie is a certified freak. For Ballistic's fact though, his voice actor is one of the most well-known voice actors in gaming history. His voice actor is Robin Atkin Downes, who was the voice for Medic from Team Fortress 2, but more importantly, he was also the voice for the Saints Row 4 protagonist. And this protagonist voice is literally the same voice he uses for Ballistic.
Hey, I'm President of the United States, so fuck you.
Sure.
And bear in mind, this game released 11 years ago, so if you recognise Ballistic's voice, maybe you're just a big Saints Row fan. Pathfinder's fact is that he has a closer relationship to a lot more legends than you expected, because Pathfinder was created by Gibraltar's granddad, Watson's grandma, Horizon's son, and Ash. So back in the day when Pathfinder was asking who his creator was, little did you know, he was asking that to the creator's grandkids. For race facts, there's about a million facts I could say about her, but my favourite fact is that she has a pilot design from back when Respawn were creating Titanfall 3, before it was transformed into Apex Legends. This was Wraith's old pilot design, it's absolutely beautiful, and in some very, very early footage of Apex, you can actually see a model of Wraith with her pilot helmet on it as well. Clearly, at some point in development, when the identity shifted from Titanfall 3 to Apex Legends, Wraith unfortunately lost that helmet. Octane has a pretty creepy fact, because at one point we didn't actually know what his face looked like. We only found out what his face looked like through the Apex book in Season 8. So before that, people actually pieced together parts from his skins that exposed tiny bits of his face to make this. Yep, this is what we thought Octane looks like up until Season 8. He looks really creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Speaking of creepy though, the next fact is for Revenant, and he does have a fairly creepy voice, right? Well, a lot of people attribute that to the filter over his voice, and you've probably wondered, what does his voice sound like without the filter? Well, we do know luckily from one occasion when Respawn accidentally released a trailer where they forgot to put the filter over his voice. This trailer was the Portuguese version of the Season 4 trailer, so not many people know about this, and just take a listen to Revenant without his voice filter.
They made me a killing machine. Who am I to argue with programming? That little voice saying there's still hope. It's lying.
If anything, that's a testament to how good his voice actor is. For Horizon's fact, in the Season 14 Battle Pass, she had an epic skin called Anya's Armor, and the Horizon voice actor later revealed that this was called Anya's Armor because unfortunately the voice actor's cat called Anya had passed away. So because of that, the developers decided to forever immortalize the cat in an Apex Legends skin. What an awesome move. For Valk, believe it or not, a lot of her skins actually have a removable helmet, and this helmet can only be removed through idle animations in the lobby. By the way, getting this animation is random, you literally have to wait for it. This animation works on the Birthright skin, and also the Birthright skin recolor, and also the Season 11 Battle Pass skin. If there's any more skins that Valk can take the helmet off, please comment down below because I'd love to know. Hope Respawn adds more of this, and also an option to remove the helmet from skins, that'll be cool. For Alter's fact though, her tactical ability is actually a scrapped ability from Revenant's original set of abilities back when he was being developed. This ability was going to be one of his ultimate abilities called Shadow Door, where he could create a fiery gateway through a flat accessible surface, and it only lasted for 10 seconds. Obviously though, this ability was scrapped before it came out, but later repurposed for Alter in a much cooler way if I do say so. Because imagine Alter's tactical actually being an ultimate that you have to wait several minutes for. Not worth it at all. For Bloodhound's fact though, a lot of you Titanfall fans may know this one, and it's the Bloodhound has the oldest legend design ever, because Bloodhound was originally designed to be a pilot in Titanfall Titanfall 1. We know this because in an interview with one of the concept artists for Titanfall 1, we can see in the background... Wait, who is that? Bloodhound? 11 years ago? Yeah, that one's pretty insane. And also, I must mention, the way they made pilot concepts for Titanfall 1 is so awesome, because they literally made the models in real life before they made them on the computers. If Respawn sold these models, I don't think I could help myself. I think I'd buy all of them. Moving on though, Crypto's fact. This one is kind of getting more well known the more lore progresses, but Crypto is actually Caustic's adoptive brother. Yes, Caustic's mother literally adopted Crypto, and that's why they low-key have beef, although none of them ever admit it because they're both trying to be super mysterious. Seer's fact though is related to his codename because before every single legend comes out, they have a codename, and also every single event has a codename. There's a lot of codenames with Apex, and Seer's codename was Pariah, and when Seer got leaked early, he got leaked as being called Pariah, and Respawn actually gave us a little nod towards this fact in his heirloom, as he has an inspect where he draws on his iPad sketching out new logos for himself, and one of the scribbled out logos says Pariah. Vantage has a pretty cool fact though, or more it's a fact about Echo, because when Vantage was originally leaked, she looked like this, but also Echo was a tiny scaled down flyer. Yes, these things off Kings Canyon. So before Echo was the bat we knew him as, he was actually just a flyer from Kings Canyon scaled down by 50 times. Gibraltar has a pretty funny fact though, I'm not gonna lie, because back when Apex Mobile was in beta testing, for some random reason, Gibraltar wasn't using the same voice actor that he was on the PC version. No, instead his voice actor sounded like a fake Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Reloading. Over here.
Battery contact.
Calling the airstrike.
Reloading.
Reloading. Dome shield out.
It sounded like someone doing a really bad impression, but when Apex Mobile came to full release, this voice wasn't present. I guess it was just a placeholder voice. Lifeline's fun fact is quite a sad one because people are sad about this nerf, but from season 5 till 9, her combat revive actually put down a shield as well as a hands-free revive, which was extremely fun, but also extremely OP back in the day, and made some fights really annoying and really one-sided, because you could pop up an invincible shield if you had an enemy down nearby you. Mirage has a fun fact, but you have to pay $500 to see it, because if you have his heirloom, anytime you have the heirloom in your hands, it will actually bring the goggles on his skin down over his eyes, which is really cool, and still applies to a lot of the new skins released. The only other time he has his goggles down is when skydiving, and let's be real, you probably don't see that 99.9% of the time. Loba has a fun fact though, and it's that Respawn made this holo spray for her back around when she came out, but randomly, one update later, Respawn changed it a tiny bit. Now, I'm not going to be too blunt and tell you what they changed. I'm just going to assume you have working eyes like I do, and you can see why Respawn changed it. Newcastle's fun fact is that he is the only legend in the game that has a finisher that can only be used on one legend, as when playing Newcastle, no matter what finisher you have equipped, if you finish a Bangalore, he will play this special animation that can only be played as a Newcastle finishing a Bangalore, making this super rare and super exclusive. So, if you're a Newcastle and down a Bangalore, just finish them to mess with their heads. Conduit's fun fact is that she has cancer and will die soon. Okay. For Caustic though, you may have looked at this pose and wondered, whose ear is he holding? And it turns out Respawn devs were pretty cheeky, because when intrigued people went into the files, they found out the ear he was holding was actually using the Richter head texture from Titanfall 2. And if you're not aware, Richter was an enemy in Titanfall 2 who would cut ears off of the people he killed. So eventually, what comes around goes around, because when Richter died, I guess Caustic somehow got hold of his ear. Watson's fun fact is fun if you like saving money, because in the Chaos Theory event, this skin released for Watson. But it turned out around a day later, Respawn announced the skin wasn't actually meant to look like this. It was meant to look like this. And because Respawn felt so bad that people had bought the skin for a pure white skin, they refunded everybody who had bought this skin and let them keep it. But now, unfortunately, nobody has this anymore. The skin now looks like this. How sad. Rampart's fun fact is that she actually created loads of skins in the game. If you see this logo on the skin, it means she created it. And believe it or not, this logo was present on skins before she was even released, as this skin was released in Season 5 in the Battle Pass, and Rampart wasn't even released for another season after that. She also created some legend skins as well. For Catalyst, believe it or not, the stuff she uses in her abilities is actually a real substance called ferrofluid. Ferrofluid is basically a magnetic metal inside a carrier fluid fluid that can be influenced by magnets, so it can do stuff like this, which actually explains how Catalyst can make a wall of black goop, and when people walk through it, they go slow, because they're walking through metal and some sort of fluid. I don't want to ask too much about what the fluid is. And that's somehow every legend in the game, so subscribe if you want more legend fact videos like this, because there's plenty more where that came from.